Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel.
Hello everyone, it is Didi here, and first off, this video is from a different angle because I don't have a new light box yet, and my mom is borrowing one of my lamps, so I'm only using one, so it's from this angle. Also, it's to hide, the Lego project I was working on, that I don't want you guys to see yet. But I want to get this video out today, as of recording it, because today marks my 4-year anniversary on YouTube. It's been a pretty crazy 4 years, and it lasted all throughout high school, which is pretty cool. I reached 1,000 subs in that span of 4 years, and for a YouTuber, that's pretty good. And I mean, I've come a long way since I started, and I wouldn't be here without you guys, so I need to say thank you. So I wanted to get that out of it. It's a 4-year anniversary of me being on YouTube. Also, Spider-Man Heartstrings. I would like to talk about it. Also, I got my Spider-Man suit back, so that's why I'm currently wearing it. Alright. My friend Jennah was just over here for a few hours, and she'll be in this video at some point, but I'm not going to say when. Because she was a bit camera shy, but then we just filmed a video of us goofing around, so I got a few clips I could put in this video. Spider-Man Heartstrings. I started working on it, like, screenplay-wise and design and everything, beginning of February, like February 1st or 2nd. And it all started from a drawing that I did in my physics class. I started thinking about my ex, which all you guys know her name is Nicole. I started thinking about Nicole a lot, and then I was like, wait, what about that one scene where Peter's holding the fairy together, but instead of it being a fairy, it's two halves of a heart? So I drew this, and it started out with Spider-Man and then the webs, and then I ran out of room for hearts, so I was going to make paper hearts and cut them out. And then I was like, wait a minute, I can make this into like a Lego mock. So originally I was going to do that, and then I was like, well, I want a name for the mock, and then I was like, hold on. I can make a stop motion out of this. So then I started doing what Peter does in his like journals and stuff, and he brainstorms names and costume designs and writes them down. Now obviously all mine are in cursive, so I'm going to read every possible title to you guys for a start of what inspired me. So we have Spider-Man Webs of Love, and which I put a question mark and said maybe. Spider-Man The Last Web, Spider-Man Lost Love. Some of them I wrote like, I love it, this one's great, and then it sounds weird but cool and stuff like that. Spider-Man Shattered Web, it sounded a bit too close to Shattered Dimensions, but I wanted the word either web or heart in it, and then I wrote heart would be a good word to use, and then there's Heartstrings, and then it says love it in all caps, and then Heart Webs, and it says sounds weird but cool. Spider-Man No More Love, comic reference, but Spider-Man Broken Web, it doesn't sound good. Spider-Man Web of Grief, and then I crossed out and wrote corny. Spider-Man Hometown, I was like, bro, it's just home. Use home or web is what I said. Spider-Man Web of Love, do I use this word, referring to the word love? Spider-Man Come Back Home, Spider-Man Broken Love, Spider-Man Broken Web, Spider-Man Homesick, that one is just too cliche. Spider-Man Entangled Love, sounds weird to me. Spider-Man Heartbreak, too cliche. And then I went back up and settled for Spider-Man Heartstrings. That was like the third one that I wrote. And then I just kept going and was like, you know what, I love it. And then I remembered, heartstrings are a real thing. And they can actually break if you get enough heartbreaks. So I wanted the heartstrings to actually be the webs themselves. So because of this drawing, I came up with the idea for Spider-Man Heartstrings. All in physics class. And then as for the screenplay, which I have right here, and I did a lot of changes to it while actually doing the stop motion. Spider-Man Heartstrings screenplay, and then it's like, oh, Protect the Powerless, the name of the soundtrack I used, has a duration of 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Stop motion starts as soon as the title screen fades. After the music starts, the duration 1 second, blah, blah, blah. And then it's certain intervals, and then it's like, oh, we see Damien in the black abyss standing in front of his heart, which has a slight crack in it. And then cut to from behind Damien's head. The camera first focuses on the cracking heart, then it focuses on Damien. He drops his head forward a bit before collapsing on the ground beneath him. The camera cuts to show his cracked heart slowly cracking more. As the first dramatic drop plays in the music, the heart breaks. The two halves of the heart slowly drift further apart, and Damien continues to lie on the ground, crying. Camera shows the left half moving away, then the right half moving away. We see a web shot at both halves of the broken heart. Cut to Tom Holland's Spider-Man caught in the middle of my broken heart, struggling to hold the halves together with his webs. A web is shot onto the right half of the heart from an unseen source. Cut to Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man looking at Tom's Spider-Man and nodding. And then on the next page, cut to Tom Holland's Spider-Man nodding back at Andrew's Spider-Man. Camera cuts to a shot from behind Andrew's head. They both start to pull on their webs, but it's not enough. And another web is shot off screen, but this time it sticks to the left side of the heart. Andrew and Tom turn their heads to look off screen. Cuts to Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man looking at Tom's Spider-Man and nodding. Tom nods back. Camera cuts to a wide shot of all three Spider-Men pulling their webs. Tom's Spider-Man jumps up, pulling the two halves closer together. Cut to the left half of the heart moving fast, then the right half moving fast. They didn't move fast, I wanted to move slow. The heart heals on the last drop of dramatic music at 1 minute and 31 seconds. Cut to Damien perking his head up, and then I crossed out. He sees Tom Spider-Man holding out his hand. He grabs and pulls himself up. I crossed this as he stands up to face all three Spider-Man. And then cut to Damien, and then I crossed out standing up and then cut to Damien smiling while looking at the three Spider-Men. They all hug him, and they all hug him. Cut to Damien's face, smiling. That part I crossed out. The camera pans over to face his healed heart, which now has Spider-Man eyes on it. The screen fades to black from the following duration, 1 minute 47 seconds to 1 minute 48 seconds, and then that's when all the closing credits played. So that was the entire screenplay, just pretty short. And then on the back, I had to delete some pictures, so I wrote down, it was for the part where the heart cracks. It was going too slow, so I had to take some pictures out. And then the last thing I'd like to show off is actually something Jennah made for me. So she took, before I show it, it's a painting. And she said it was like an early Valentine's Day present. I had sent her pictures of the drawing from physics and then the actual Lego build. And she made probably one of the coolest things I have in my room that's Spider-Man related. So first up on the back, she wrote, "Proud of you, JS 2/2022. Look at this. This is awesome. This is awesome. It's Tom Spider-Man in his like homecoming suit, but it's like more bright blue, and then two halves of a real heart with webs, and I love how they're like dripping down, and then you can actually see the parts where it looks like a web. And she said she used watercolors for the heart and Spider-Man, and then for the webs, she said she used some kind of like watercolor thing, but without the water, so it like would drip down, and it actually made it look super cool. I love this. Jennah, I know you're probably watching this. I love it. I love you. This is awesome. Get that through your thick skull. Also, speaking of, that's Jennah, everybody. I hope to get her on the channel maybe a few more times before I go off to college, because she was really camera shy. But I will be including some things at the very end of this video from this video I took of us just goofing off. So you'll see a little bit more of her, but she's really fun. And I just need to figure out how to hang it up on my wall. I'm thinking about gluing one of those like hooks to the back, and then I can just put it on the wall, because this deserves a spot on my wall. And then, you know, it's just all black. I love it. I love it. This is awesome. I'm going to keep that forever. As for Spider-Man Heartstrings itself, I'm going to move this down a little bit. Okay, there we go. So, certain parts of it, I'm going to pull it up on the TV. Give me a minute. Alright, so I've got it pulled up on the TV, but it's muted because if I play it and you hear it, I'm going to have to give all those credits again and stuff. So, local opening credits. This short film is dedicated to myself and my first love. My first love being Nicole, obviously. On December 15th, 2021, I lost her, not by death, by heartbreak. I couldn't think of a better way to say, like, oh, like, I felt like I lost her. I don't want to go into further details just for privacy reasons. But I felt like a part of me was lost with her. And so I wanted to say not by death, just so people weren't like, oh my god, did she die? So no, by heartbreak. I felt empty and didn't see a reason to keep going in life. That I really did. I didn't want to live anymore. Until December 16th, 2021, the day I saw Spider-Man No Way Home for the first time. The day she broke up with me, I called my mom and came home and just cried all day. And then I remember the day after was Spider-Man, so I refrained from doing anything stupid that night and just waited. So I went and saw the movie the following day, and oh god, do I wish I could go back. And I even told myself, I'm gonna try and record parts of my reactions so I can remember for the future. I didn't record nothing, so those reactions that were genuine will never be seen again. A memory I will never forget. What you're about to watch is a visual representation of how I felt that day. It is a memory I will talk about for the rest of my life. Visual representation of how I felt. So how I felt inside, like how my heart felt before and during and after the movie. So before the movie, she broke up with me. It had a crack in it, and then it just completely broke. And then while watching it, when the Spider-Man showed up, it felt like they were holding on, and they were just like, we gotta save him, guys. Like, no, like he's too good to not be here anymore. I don't know, like he's one of the greats. I don't know. And then after the movie, Spider-Man eyes on it, and the Spider-Man eyes is actually a reference to Spectacular Spider-Man because every episode ended with Spider-Man in the sky or his logo and his eyes. And at one point, it was a heart. It didn't have eyes on it, but it was in the shape of a heart. So I wanted to do a cool nod to that. And then I hope you enjoy it, obviously. So then as for the actual title card, obviously you can tell that's Toby's font. I did a lot of brainstorming with title fonts, and then I eventually settled for Toby's font with some cool blue ice filter, and then with red outlined around it. A short film by Damien H., that's me. Okay, so I'm going to let it play for a little bit. So these first parts are actually pictures, like all of it. And I kept the lighting the same the entire time and wanted to make my face dark enough that you wouldn't be able to see it because the only expressions my minifigure has is end. So it was on the face, and I didn't want to show that. So for that part where it's cracking, I had to crack it 10 times, and then on the 11th one, so I actually repeated the same picture over and over again, like 6 times for each one. And then occasionally it was like 7 for each one. It's on the back of the screenplay. And then, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to put it, and see, and then it actually breaks. Why is the quality so low? Yeah, man. There we go. Okay, so as for those two parts where you can see the sides of the heart moving, those parts are actually pretty hard to film because I had to push those things back 40 times, and then every time those bricks that you could see the lights were changing on them, right like here, that was actually a piece in between because the heart was on this side, and on the other side of it there was an axle that would let me move it, and in between them was this like black pin thing that I had built using black bricks, and I had to shrink it every time they got closer and enlarge it every time they got further away. Okay, so those two parts were actually a video. Oh wait, and the next part is too. Okay, so the parts where Tom's webs attach are actually a video played in reverse of me ripping them off. The right side took 2 tries. The left side took like 20, and it was so annoying. But he uses a splitter web so that it goes on the top and bottom. And the sound effect used is actually his splitter web from Spider-Man Homecoming. But that's only because it was the only Webster sound effect I could find that didn't have music in the background. And then the part where he falls down in the middle is actually me dropping him and then moving the hearts to like, oh, like now he's struggling and everything. And if you pause it at the right moment, you can see how the lighting changes from the video to the pictures. And then in order to make it look like he was struggling, I just moved the hearts in a pattern. So it was like up, down, up, repeatedly. Turning Tom's head was probably one of the hardest. Turning Tom's head throughout the whole thing was one of the hardest parts because I would have to move the hearts back together to move his head so that it wouldn't pull the webs off, because those weren't glued down, they weren't using sticky tack, nothing. So then as for that part, where Andrew's web comes in, that's also a video played in reverse of the web barely being in there, and I pulled it. And his was a lot harder to get, so it kind of looks like it's coming from the side, not just straight forward, but it's alright. And then his sound effect is a little bit quieter, but I put them all at the same volume, basically. Except for Toby's, I lowered his down because it was a really loud sound effect. But I wanted to only give the web shooter sound effects because the heartstrings themselves are the webs. So the webs holding the heart together and pulling it back together are the heartstrings. So I wanted the source of the heartstrings to have sound, and also so you can tell who it's coming from. So now, as for these parts, my phone doesn't zoom in on Stop Motion Studio, so I actually had to zoom in on CapCut, which is where I used to edit my videos. But it's a bit fuzzy, but I'm okay with it. So then they both start struggling, and it was really difficult to make them look like they were struggling, but I made it work. So then Toby shows up, that was the video played in reverse, and then you can see him a lot more clearly. Again, he's struggling, and then they look at each other, and both nod. Okay, so now as for the parts where those two pull, originally it was going to be a lot faster, but then I actually decided to go for slow motion. So Andrew slowly pulls, Toby slowly pulls, which is actually 3 pictures, but 2 of each, so it's like, but just, played in a really quick motion. And then that part right there, where time goes up, is a video. It's where all the webs are loose, and there's a clear one of, it's actually this clear pull piece right here. I'm going to pick it up, attached to his head, and I pulled it up. And all the webs came off except for the bottom right one, but it wasn't caught in the video because I cut out the picture, because there was a picture where it hit the camera, so I just cut that out. And then this is another hard part, right, to get them back together. Originally, I wanted to fade into a big white screen when it healed, and then fade back into the video, but I just wasn't able to do it. This is one of the hardest parts. Right there. Making it look like they were hugging each other was one of the hardest parts of this whole thing. Because him walking up and hugging him, that's easy. Andrew is like touching his back and then like my hand. Toby's touching my back and then Tom's hand. It's really hard to make Legos look like they're hugging without doing this. But then their arms risk falling off, so I didn't want to take that risk. But I also believe in the purest method where you use Legos the way they were intended to be used. So the pan part for that could have been a lot smoother, because I wanted it to originally just go, but I didn't want their heads in the ways. So what I had to do was pan it and then move it forward and then backwards again. So that's why it looks a little wonky. But then I love this shot. And then thank you, Spider-Man, you saved me again, which he did. Only this time I didn't know I needed you. Very true. Nicole, if you're watching this, we've gotten better, but it's time for me to move on, which, yeah, I did. Stay strong for me, okay? Goodbye, my love. So, I don't know if she'll ever see that. I, frankly, don't care if she'll ever see it. I mean, I would like it if she would see it, so then, it really shows how much she meant to me and that I'm ready to move on. And so, because of that, when I started brainstorming for this, something in my head was like, we're doing this. You need to do this. This is how you're going to get through this. This is how you're going to finally be able to keep going in life without having to worry about her, worry about if she's okay. If anything bad happens, I am sure she will notify you. Worst comes to worst, okay? So, the final steps I have to finally move on are, I have this list that I would keep in my wallet called Stuff to Do with Her. And it was a list of date ideas that her and I had. I'm not going to read them out to you guys, because privacy reasons, but front and then half the back page, and it's all in cursive, so good luck pausing that trying to read it. But yeah, there's so many things, and anytime I'd be at work, I'd be at school, and I'd randomly think of something, I'd add it to the list. But yeah, there's a lot of things, a lot of cute things, and she actually was originally planning on coming up for my spring break, which starts technically tomorrow after school, which it would have started March 7th. So, I mean, I don't even really care that much anymore. I would be shocked as hell if she showed up at my door Monday morning. Legit. If she showed up, I'd be like, why are you here? Like, I don't know exactly what I'd say. I don't know what I'd say. Just be like, I'd probably just be speechless. Like, yeah, so I don't know. I don't know how to react. So I want to burn this because I keep it hidden from myself, and then I eventually figure out where it is, and then when I go looking for something else, I find it, and I'm like, oh. Originally I had taped it together. That's why there's tape on it. And then I had these 2 necklaces I had custom made for us in it, and I was going to burn all of those, but I don't want to burn the necklaces. So I had 2 of the exact same necklace made. It's like, actually, it's more like a keychain. And on one side it says N+D. It's currently backwards for you guys, but whatever. And then on the other side it has my state and her state, Illinois and Oklahoma, with a dashed line and then a heart drawn on it. And I love these. These are really great. You know, they're really good quality, and I was going to go out and buy chains for them. And I had gotten them, I think, a few days before the breakup. And then I wasn't going to show them to her. It was going to be her Christmas present, and then I was going to mail it to her. But instead of me burning these, I would like to actually throw them into the river down the road. Because, I don't know. Scenes like that in movies just always seem so symbolic for me. And also, it would just reassure, like, I will never see these again. I will never, in a million years, find these ever again. So then I don't have to worry about them. And, you know, and then I burn the paper, so that's gone. And then I'll just delete all the pictures that I still have of her on my phone. But I don't, like, look at them quite often. Like, it's just, like, my mom told me to delete the ones I don't really need and then keep the ones that mean stuff, that mean a lot to me, that had meaning. And then I put them on my Google Drive, and I never go on my Google Drive. So whenever I did, I would look at them, but that's very rare. So the final steps to me letting go, I'm going to burn that paper, throw those necklaces in the river, and delete all the pictures. I want this video in Spider-Man Heartstrings to be the last physical evidence of a reminder of her. I will watch that, and it will make me think of her. That's not the point, but her name is literally in the video. I debated on not putting it in there, but then I was like, well, what else am I supposed to call her now? The only reason I said goodbye, my love, is because, you know, she was my love, my first love. And as for the thumbnail, actually, it's a webbed background I found on the internet, black background, and then a transparent picture of me and Spider-Man hugging, and then, of course, just the title on it. So, I mean, pretty cool. But, yeah, I'm proud of myself, and it's getting a lot of attention on Facebook. It's getting a lot of attention on YouTube, and I'm very glad that, like, all this effort is actually paying off, and people are actually seeing it, and they like it. I had my buddy come up to me today at school, who's actually, like, he's a film critic as, like, a hobby. Spencer, if you're watching this, I'm talking about you. And he actually was, like, really moved by it. And if he's moved by something and says it's amazing, that's good. Trust me. So no, I don't know, I'm just really proud of how it's doing and how I've done. And fun fact, I was actually sick the entire time while making it. I was sick the weekend before. Because I originally wanted to release it February 28th, because I thought that was the original No Way Home digital release date, until it got pushed back to March 22nd. So I said, okay, we'll aim for March 1st. So I believe, yeah, I released it March 1st. And I actually, I had that Friday and Saturday off. I took that Saturday off work myself so that I could film it in that one day, and then I realized it was a lot harder than than I originally thought it was, so I needed more time. So Friday, I actually started. I set everything up, and then I was like, you know what? Just do it. Or was that how it went? No. I set everything up Friday. I started it Saturday. I realized I wasn't going to finish, so I got to a stopping point and tried to go to bed, but I was sick, so I couldn't actually get any sleep. Then I woke up early Sunday morning, got back to it, and then I worked on it for like 7 hours straight, took a break, and then came back for another like 4 hours, and then it was bedtime. And then I actually didn't go to school on Monday because I still felt like crap. I was still like sick, like bad sick. So I finished it that day. I was so proud of myself. I was like, Mom, it's done. And then I edited it on Monday, and then I said, boom, we're releasing it Tuesday. Or was it Monday? Because Monday, wait, because today's Thursday. So the second, the first. Yeah, so I released it on Tuesday. But yeah, I'm overall really proud of it, and I thank you to my mom and for not giving up on me, and thank you to Jennah for not just the amazing painting, but all of your support and help along this journey. And thank you to everybody who has watched me on this channel for 4 years. It really means a lot to me, and I've really gotten used to talking to a camera and looking at myself at the same time and just being like, damn, look how far you've come. Like, it's not really awkward for me anymore. I still cannot do my intro around my friends because it's just weird to me. But yeah, I'm proud of myself for once. And that's saying something. I never have self-confidence. So I'm actually proud of myself. So yeah, I just wanted to say, it was a few things, but this video is almost 30 minutes long, so I doubt anyone's going to actually fully watch it, but if you did, thank you. So yeah, thank you for watching Spider-Man Heartstrings. Thank you for listening to this TED Talk, and thank you, Nicole, for everything that happened while we were together. And I'm never going to forget you. Nobody ever forgets their first love. No matter if it was really good or really bad. You never forget your first love. So, I will continue to live my life. And that's actually Jennah telling me she made it home. So, happy about that. So thank you, Nicole. And I really do hope that you're okay. So if you are watching this, I hope that you've gotten better. And I wish you the best of luck in life. But I'm going to move on. I mean, I'm sure you already have, but I don't know, it's just more emotional for me, I guess. Side note, if you guys want to see more of me in my Spider-Man suit, check out my TikTok, DD's Bricks. It's all lowercase, DDS_bricks_. I post a lot of like funny skits on there because it's just TikTok, it's shorter and stuff, so I don't want to post that stuff on YouTube. But I recently got my suit back, so I've been doing a lot of cosplay stuff. I'm officially a cosplayer now. But I've had this suit for like 2 years now, so I mean, you can clearly see the wear on the fingers from me climbing my roof and climbing the tree and stuff. But I am getting a new suit soon. Won't say which one, but I'll just say it's the best live action suit that we've seen. Some of y'all can think many different options there. But yeah, so if you guys want to see more of me in the suit, check out my TikTok. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please drop a like, leave a comment down below, and hit the subscribe button, turn on post notification for every time I post a new video. Peace out, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Now enjoy these bloopers.
Did you just fall?
Okay.
And they wouldn't know.
It's like a bug going towards the light. Are you a moth now? Mothman.
No, if I'm moth, but
Like if you love Wanda.